Today we're going to talk about something that can really help you, but can also really hinder you and also cost you thousands of pounds if you don't get it right. And today we're going to be talking about lie angle. Getting the right lie angle for yourself is very important to get you hitting better shots, hitting it out of the middle, and more importantly, hitting more greens. And obviously it's a big thing that people push when you are talking about going to get fitted. Make sure you get the right lie angle, but it all depends on what are you doing with your golf swing. Are you having lessons? Are you trying to improve? Have you changed your posture? Are you watching a lot of YouTube videos on this channel, on Get Good at Golf, on many channels that are on YouTube, and you're thinking, right, I've got to get into that perfect posture, but I've been fitted for my clubs, they're a couple of degrees upright, right now I feel like I'm hitting it good, but it's going left. And that's what we're going to discuss today. On these blueprint irons here, I have a standard lie angle. So if I take a standard setup for my height, then these should come off exactly where we want. Starting straight, a little bit of fading, and a good distance and caught the back edge of the green. But if that lie angle wasn't correct for my swing, for my path, for my characteristics, then that golf ball could go left, could go right, and that's what we need to discuss. If you're buying golf clubs online, if you're thinking about getting a different lie angle and changing that, would it be cheaper for you in the long run to have a couple of lessons and know what you're working on? So I've got two 7-irons here, which is one is a black dot and one is a blue dot. Blue dot, as you'll see on the side of the screen, if I move the irons over, you'll see there's an extensive list from Ping. It's one of the best fitting systems from all brands. You can see it's 1 degree upright. 1 degree upright is something that we'll see from setup. So if you're somebody who returns a club a little bit more like this, so you're standing up, we'll get the lie angle a little bit more upright so that can counter for your characteristics throughout the swing. The opposite, obviously, if I have it flatter, if we have it flatter, that's again somebody who is going to be doing the opposite, who maybe comes in, loses some angles and comes in here. So they're going to flatten that club out so you can get the correct interaction with the turf. I'm going to hit a couple of shots in here, one with each, and we'll see straight away what we'll see if you are neutral. So first up, I'm going to go with the 1 degree upright. So again, we'll jump in the studio shortly and show you again, if you've got a neutral swing and a pretty good face, then this might not be the club for you. Again, if you've bought these or you was fitted into these, you've been having lessons, we could now get to the point where you're swinging it better, your posture's better because you've put the time and effort in, but you put a normal golf swing on it just like this, and that's the shot we get. Moving to the left, left of the green, and just missed. Only just missed, but that's a green miss. There's less potential for me there to be able to get up and down. If I now bring in a standard lie club, I feel like, okay, I'm not trying to manipulate it, because if you've got a club where you start to see it going left because you've been having lessons, you've improved, you then start to manipulate. We might add some bad traits in, right, it's going to go left, so I'll get the ball position a little bit further back, I'll get my hands forwards, right, well, then you've lost the setup and you've lost everything you've been working on. And you then think, well, I'm going to have more lessons, or do I get new clubs? This is where you need to think when you are going for a fitting, you need to explain exactly what you are doing, because the lie angle could be costing you shots. Much easier to fly it there, straight towards the flag, a little bit lower launch. And from there, pretty close to the flag. So let's jump into the studio before we have a nearest the pin on the 6 hole here at Waterfront, and we come to a conclusion. So guys, in the studio now, and exactly what we expected to see outside. So starting to lose it a little bit left, but also distance control not easy. So we know that obviously if it's going to encourage you to be a little bit close, potentially if you've got a normal setup, then that's going to encourage it to obviously take a little bit of loft off. Also take a little bit of spin out of it, so you might get it coming off a little bit hotter and flatter, which is not exactly what we want to do. So again, here in the GolfStorm Simulator, we'll be able to see obviously what kind of feedback we get. A normal swing on that again. Straight away we can see that turning over, and we can see gone long. So long of the hole there. So exactly what I'm starting to see out on the golf course. We can see that the club face was actually very square there. We know that now it's just the lie angle on that that's taking it left. And that's something you've certainly got to take into account. Obviously, when you go for a fitting, yes, you want to get fitted to what you're doing, but Are you having those lessons? If you're trying to get to neutral, you're putting all that work in, paying all that money for lessons, you're going and practicing, and then the £2,000 or the £1,000 set of golf clubs that you bought are then not right for you. And yes, you can have them changed, you can have them bent, you can have them tweaked, but they're not always going to be able to bend them maybe as far as you've got them. If you're 2 or 3 degrees, then it's going to be very hard to get them back to standard. And as we know then, it's very hard to sell them. That's the classic shot again, what we saw out on the golf course. A little bit of a push, so that's trying to think, right, I know it's going to go left, so I get the hands a little bit ahead, so I'm trying to manipulate it already. So I switched over now to the normal, so straight away there, standard lie angle certainly just sits a lot flusher behind the golf ball like we said out on the golf course, but here I know what I'm going to get. I don't have to try and feel like I'm manipulating it. A normal swing there, drawing nicely, back onto the flag. Pitching just passing on the golf course, on the green, potentially that's going to stop a little bit quicker, especially after the rain we've had recently. But nice and easy, I'm not trying to force that. I know I can just get into my position. I know at the moment my path and face are pretty neutral. I'm going to see a little draw if I put a good swing on it. And that's what I'm starting to see from these irons, with them being at that standard lie angle. Again there, can flight one in. A little bit left, but distance-wise, pitching pin high, going a little bit long. But again, you can see there that we can start to be repetitive. I can start to see what I'm doing. Yes, that's a little bit of a pull, but I have brought the trajectory down a little bit. I feel like I can do that when the clubs are fitted. So let's get back out onto the course now. Let's hit one into the par 3-6 here at Waterfront, and then let's finish this video off. I'm going to be talking about what we're going to be looking at with these Blueprint pings in the coming weeks. So like we said in there, guys, when we think about fitting, you think about it for yourself, for you personally. Are you going to change your swing? Are you having lessons? If not, then when you go in for a fitting, just let the fitter fit to your swing. You'll get the correct lie angle, the correct loft, the correct clubs, the correct shaft, everything for you. But if you are working on your game, it might be better in the long run to get something that's closer towards standard, because if you're putting all the time and effort in, if that's where we can get to and that's what we're working towards, then get clubs that you are going towards to help you improve. It's the same as thinking about, okay, do you need P790s or do you need P770s? Are you looking to get your handicap down in a year's time with lessons? Are you going to be then thinking about changing clubs again? Maybe get those better clubs, get those fitted into those specs, so you can obviously have those clubs for 5 to 10 years without having to change, because we know that golf's not getting any cheaper, but we also want to make it as easy as possible along the way. Again, standard lie angle there, launching straight towards the flag, nice and easy. Pretty close, just over the bunker, stopped exactly where we wanted it to. Here I go to the blue dot, so 1 degree upright. Put the same golf swing on this. Certainly digs a little bit, drawing off the flag, but again pretty close on that one, not too bad at all. Pin high, I would have a chance. But guys, there's a couple of things to consider when you're buying new clubs and when you're getting fitted. Yes, if you're buying offline, if you're buying off Facebook Marketplace, if you're buying off eBay, if you're buying off anywhere, take that into account to help you lower your scores.